Climate-smart agriculture, also referred to as smart agriculture, is one model of agriculture that ensures sustainable productivity, increases resilience and adaptation to climate change, reduces and eliminates greenhouse gas, while ensuring national food security and achieving development goals. The smart agriculture was introduced by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in 2009. In Vietnam, developing smart agriculture is being seen as an objective of the agriculture sector today, with the support of many international organizations. Since 2011, the World Agroforestry Center, along with the CGIAR research program on climate change, agriculture and food security, have implemented a project in 21 countries, mainly in African, Asian, Latin American countries, including Vietnam. This project aims to assist farmers in a sustainable manner and better adapt to climate change, while increasing their productivity and income. Currently, the project is being implemented in some provinces of Yên Bái, Hà Tĩnh, and Bạc Liêu in Vietnam, called Climate Smart Villages.
Greetings from Trang Vietnam on VTC10 Net Việt. In today's program, we are going to talk about the climate smart agriculture in Vietnam, how it is being implemented here. And the guest speaker in our program today is Madam Elisabeth, a scientist on climate change. So thank you for joining us. After spending a lot of time working in Vietnam, what can you say about the development of climate smart agriculture here?
First of all, the first time I came to Vietnam was in 1995, and in some way I can say that climate smart agriculture is a new concept, but climate smart, farmers have been growing climate smart for a long time. And what I remember from that time is the VAC system. It's the home garden, livestock, and the pond, the fish pond. That's one example of farmers growing climate smart already before it was a brand. The other thing that's very close to my heart is rice fish cultivation. In rice fish, the fish is swimming in the rice field, and it acts as, instead of your chemicals, you use the fish to eat the pests, to eat the grass, to the weeds, and also fertilize your field. So these practices have been around for a long time. But then, as the market transition has happened, many farmers have turned into monoculture, and we can see some examples, especially in the northwest of Vietnam.
Could you please tell us more about the climate smart projects that you have been involved in Vietnam so far?
In 2014, we started looking in Vietnam for 3 climate smart villages. One of the climate smart villages is representing the sensitive agroecosystems of central Vietnam. In the climate smart village, the idea is that we are testing different types of climate smart agriculture. So this is again looking at what trees and crops grow best there, and in how we grow them. So how we grow and what we grow. And the way we grow crops, it can be used in many other places. So for example, agroforestry is a climate smart practice if you find the right trees and the right crops, and it can be applied anywhere almost. But the crops you select are very different depending on where you are.
What are the advantages and also the challenges when implementing these projects in Vietnam?
Yeah, for the challenges, of course, we are now in the financial crisis of the world, which has also affected our budgets a lot, and that has been a struggle for us. This is happening at the same time as research and policy making is also very slow processes, at the same time as we see the impacts of extreme weather events and growing really fast. On the advantages, I have to say working with farmers in the field is the biggest advantage. We can see how they are accepting our research or what they like and what they don't like, and we can make changes. This is the huge benefit for us.
So how has the international experiences been applied in these projects?
I wanted to show this is the work that we used. This is a talking toolkit. It's methods that are used to facilitate focus group discussions with farmers about how they perceive the changes in climate over their lifetime and what they do to adapt to this. This builds on work that I did in Africa now almost 10 years ago, and this is used in other countries. So this is an example of how international experiences and research is used in other countries. The farmers are also going to take part in different exchange tours, exchange trips. So we had farmers from the climate smart villages in Laos and Cambodia visiting the farms in My Lai and also the one in Dien Bai in North Vietnam. And they have learned things from each other. We have also exchanged with a climate smart village in Philippines. And when the village leader went there, he brought back with him some sorghum seeds. And when the leaders from My Lai went to the Philippines, they brought peanuts, which is, of course, a very famous product from Ha Tinh.
My Lai Hamlet, Kỳ Sơn Commune, Kỳ Anh District, Ha Tinh Province, accommodates about 800 people. Most of them are doing the farming with basic crops such as maize, potato, and cassava. The climate is harsh, with the western blowing wind, and there's no rain from April to June every year. In October 2015, the households in My Lai were introduced by experts from the World Agroforestry Center and the Research Group on International Agriculture on raising perionics excavators. The 11 selected households received 50 kilograms of perionics excavators. Up to now, about 20 households have developed this model.
Thức ăn của giun quế này chính là phân trâu và bò, thì nó là một trong những cái nó nguồn cung cấp ở đây khá là dồi dào, và chính cái phân trâu phân bò đấy là nó thải ra cái lượng khí metan khá là nhiều. Thế nên khi là mình dùng cái con giun quế này và nó ăn cái đấy thì nó sẽ giảm đi cái lượng phát thải khí metan vào không khí để làm giảm cái hiệu ứng khí nhà kính.
Perionics excavators contributes to the protection of the environment and the development of ecological agriculture. The organic resolution of the worms is just after the microorganisms. Countries around the world have utilized this particular feature of the earthworm to treat domestic or organic waste, clean up the environment. In addition, raising perionics excavators brings high economic efficiency. Perionics excavators can be used as an extremely nutritious food for livestock and poultry. Waste of this earthworm is considered a good source of fertilizer for plants. Likewise is the gasification stove model. This type of gasifier helps farmers utilize agricultural residues, save fuel, reduce emissions and pollution to the environment.
Cái bếp này thì nó giúp tiết kiệm là về nhiên liệu, tiết kiệm tiền cho mình khỏi là chi phí vào các cái vật liệu đốt khác. Bảo vệ môi trường thì trước hết là mình sử dụng được cái phụ phẩm của nông nghiệp. Sau đó là mình đốt cái bếp này, sau khi nó đã cháy lên thì nó không khói thì nó đỡ cái vấn đề là môi trường.
My Lai Hamlet has now changed as the thinking of the farmers here change. They have developed agriculture in a more advanced, scientific method, generating higher income and are particularly prepared to cope with climate change.
The CSA program is combining the agroforestry and also the animal feed production in Vietnam. Do you intend to implement other CSA programs models in Vietnam given the worsening climate change?
So we do research most of the time, and we are looking at what models farmers are using or that could be improved. We then present this as a portfolio of practices where we estimate the cost and benefits and different environmental benefits especially. And then others can use this. So we're working together with the IFAD in Ha Tinh and the government, the Department of Agriculture in Ha Tinh, to present these examples so that they can then apply them in their programs. So they have support programs for adaptation, for example, that they could be using climate smart models in. And then there will be other visitors coming. We know the Farmers Union are very excited and interested to work with us more, and there's opportunities to scale out the models that work in some places, so the types of agriculture. And there is a policy from the government that includes also agroforestry as an adaptation practice. So there is, and also mentions specifically agroforestry is a climate smart practice. So there will be more. Regardless of us, there will be more, but I hope they come and look at what we are doing.
The participation of the private sector in the CSA program is still limited. So how can the government of Vietnam encourage the involvement of the private sector?
There's still lots of opportunities for farmer groups, farmer trade, small trade organizations or businesses or cooperatives to do a lot of, especially diversified agriculture and organic agriculture that's run on small scale but for a very targeted market. And the government could help more with providing loans that runs over a longer time, specifically. I know the Farmers Union in Ha Tinh is training farmers on business management, small business management, which is another excellent way of introducing the idea of running a business and what you need to think a little bit different perhaps than when you just sell a few products on the local market. I would love to see more investments in green technology so that farmers, for example, could use solar panels or solar cells to run post-harvest processing of their products.
The CSA program is being implemented in 3 provinces in Vietnam. Will it be implemented in other provinces in the future?
What we are developing now is a portfolio of practices, climate smart practices, that can be used in our case, probably in the north-central Vietnam, where the conditions are quite similar. But we're also, of course, using other projects that we have in Vietnam, what CCAFS is running, and together with other CGIAR organizations, which work under the CGIAR research program on climate change, agriculture and food security called CCAFS. We together also provide evaluations of the models that we are developing for uptake in other provinces. The idea is that we are helping or supporting, providing evidence for policymakers so that they can use these models in adaptation policies, for example, or mitigation policies. And for donors, we work closely with donors so we know what they need and what they want, what kind of evidence they would like to see. And of course with farmers, who are the first criteria for adoption of these practices. So we learn from the farmers what they like and what they don't like about these practices. CCAFS also works very closely with NGOs, so this is another way where they would have working with a much larger group of farmers than we are doing. We work with small groups of farmers and do research, and then we hope that others will look at the results and use that.
Thank you, Elisabeth, for joining us and for your meaningful sharings today. So we hope that your project will grab many success in the future.
Thank you.
And that's all we have for this episode of Xoanh Vietnam today. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at xoanhvietnam@netvietttv.net. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.